Hello, I'm Heather if we haven't met yet. And what would you do today if you had 86 leads to follow up on? And like perfect leads for you, your ideal client, people that have already connected with you, reached out to you on social media. Wouldn't that be amazing? Well, I'm going to share how you can do that today. You are at the Business Breakthrough Live. That is what this is. It is a pop-up workshop. Sometimes I do it in small groups, and today I'm doing it live for you so that you can watch it when you have an opportunity to, and hopefully you're here live with me. That would be fantastic. If you're here, whether you're watching the recording or you are jumping on with me live right now, put impact in the comments. I would love to see that. Ooh, we got some people joining us. Give me impact. You are called for impact today, and you are ready to learn how to connect with those ideal clients out there that are absolutely waiting for you. Welcome to your business breakthrough. As you're joining or whether you're watching the video, go ahead and write impact in the comments. I'm not able to see the comments during this presentation, but I will go back and absolutely follow up on all of them. And matter of fact, sometimes some of the best questions come from the comments on these lives, and then I go back and do another live later to answer the questions. So make sure and put your questions in the comment section. So let's get started. I am going to tell you a little bit about myself, and the reason I'm doing that is because there are a lot of people out on social media and they're giving you advice, and they just hung their business sign yesterday. They have no idea what they're talking about. So I want to share a little bit about myself with you, if it's all right, so that you understand where I got my knowledge and where I'm coming from. And so to start off, right out of grad school, well, and even in grad school, I started climbing that corporate ladder. So I did that for 17 years with the same company, and I loved it. I said I felt like I was an entrepreneur working with somebody else's checkbook, which was fantastic. I had a lot of fun. I learned a lot, but I was making a lot of money for someone else. And so I was an executive director for about 8 years, and then I was regional after that. And in the end, we were doing business acquisitions. And so everything was fast, lots of revenue for them, lots of money for me, lots of work, lots of travel, lots of everything. And so I needed to make a change. Like I couldn't go that fast much longer. Plus, when you work in corporate, you are dependent on their mission, and they lost their mission. They had their mission when I had started with them 17 years beforehand, and they kept it most of the time. But boy, that last year, they forgot what they were about. And it showed even worse after I left. So I was glad I got out of there. But you may relate to that. You may be in a job or a career, and you're like, man, I'm ready to get out of it. I'm done making money for somebody else. You might be going, yep, I get that. So if you are that, you're in the right place. So anyways, I decided it was time to leave. And my husband and I, within a couple days, decided it was time for us to move home and for him to take over the family farm. Big change. Went from Kansas, beautiful weather, shout out to anybody in Kansas, home to South Dakota. So he started farming here, and it was my chance to do something else. And I didn't want to work for anyone else. I wanted to work for myself and do something very different. And I ended up falling into, or God's path led me, we all know that's probably more the truth, into being a financial advisor. And I did that, and I was captive. And if you are in the industry, you know what captive meant. So I thought I was independent, but I really, really wasn't. So, but anyways, I was with the same company for 10 years. So, can't really complain. But I did that. And those first few years out of corporate, I replaced my corporate salary. It was fantastic. Like, it was so good. I loved it. And then, boom, you know what happened? I had a bad year. Now, if you are an entrepreneur, put in the comments, thumbs up if you get it. Like, man, this can happen, right? If you're an entrepreneur and you run a business, you're going to have a bad year. I had my bad year. And I thought, I don't know what I'm going to do. I was watching social media. Yes, social media works. I was watching social media, and I came across a coach, and I listened to what she said, similar to just what you're doing today. And I thought, yeah, I need to do this. I need to do this. And when I wrote that check for that coaching program, and remember, I had lost money the year before. Like it was brutal. It was a brutal year. When I wrote that check for that coaching program, I knew that this had to work. And if it didn't work, I was going to have to go back and tell my husband that it was worse than the year before. And I was going to have to get out. There was no way I could keep going. And so I wrote the check and I jumped all in to the coaching program. And within 6 weeks, I made $70,000. I thought, man, 6 weeks, $70,000. I had never had 6 weeks like that before. It was amazing. And the thing is, I got exactly what I needed from coaching. I needed somebody that would believe in me, and I needed a sales system that was congruent with who I am. Makes sense? A sales system that was congruent with who I was, and I need somebody that believed in me. And I'm gonna jump back here just for a minute. I don't know if you can see it. If you can't see this, don't sweat it. Like nothing up here is that interesting, but or high tech. You'll figure it out. So when we think of coaching, why does coaching work? Because a lot of you are coaches, and so I want you to know why this is important and why this works. This is a figure eight. And this is how it works. So when you step into coaching, when you hire a coach, or if somebody hires you as a coach, or they hire a consultant or whatever, an advisor, you need to borrow their belief. That's what the B stands for. It's a big figure eight if you can't see it. Borrow the belief. I needed to borrow the belief. I believed that she knew what she was talking about. And she did, right? Like, so I did exactly what she told me to do. Borrow the belief. Then I took action. I just took action on it. I didn't question it. I took action. And then I had an experience. A good experience, right? A very, very good experience. And then we do it again. And that's why I always say coaches always need coaches. Everybody needs coaching. We always need to get better and leveling up. And I found out the best way to do that was to hire a coach. She got me there faster. She knew something I didn't know. I borrowed her belief. I did what she said. I took action, and I had amazing experience. And so, of course, I wanted to keep going, right? And so kept going. I niched down in my advisory firm. She said, man, this is awesome. I want to hire you. So she hired me to do her entry-level coaching, and I did that for years, many years. It was fantastic. And I kept going along as a financial advisor and a coach, and I was doing both, and I was captive, and it was great. And then I wrote a book, which became an Amazon bestseller. And the place I was captive with, I'm just sharing this because it's interesting, was captive with I was on vacation, and they messaged and they thought, oh, we thought you'd only sell to family and friends. Oh, surprise. So I knew right then at that moment, when I wasn't sure they were going to let my book go on Amazon as a bestseller, I knew that we weren't on the same route, and I needed to make a change. And if you're sitting there and you're doing amazing things and you're banging your head against something, you know you need to make a change. Like, that is a pivot that needs to happen. And so I made the pivot, started my own RA. And then now I'm gonna tell you, I'm ready. I'm gonna tell you the technique on how you get leads. Here we go. Then I was an RA, and I was like, man, this was October of last year, so not very long ago. I had stopped coaching in the other program when I became an RA because I needed to concentrate on that. And I had my financial firm running real good. I should have been happy. And I went to, and I was happy, but I felt like something was missing. I went to one of my coaches, because coaches need coaches. I went to one of my coaches and I said, she's Christian like me. I said, I'm missing something. I don't know what it is. I'm in the Bible every day. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and I am missing something. And she said, well, if you could do anything all day long, what would it be? And I said, I would write business plans all day long. Now, when I say that, some of you go, oh, sounds terrible. And some of you are like, yeah, that sounds fun. Well, to me, that would be what I would want to do all day long. I had just gotten done helping a financial advisory client write a business plan. Love the experience. I'm like, let's go do this. Let's do that. She's like, perfect, go do that. Go help people write business plans. And she is a master marketer. Like, she has a degree in marketing. She's worked for the biggest beer company in the United States. She's on, that company that you buy things from on TV. Why can't I think of it? Somebody put it in the chat if you remember what it's called, where you buy stuff on TV. It's so old, but people get on TV and buy stuff. And so it's that channel that does that. And so, it's going to bug me, but oh well. So she's on that. And so, anyway, she's amazing advice. And she told me, she goes, well, go do that. And I said, well, how do I connect with these people? And she says, lead post, like lead post. So lead post, right? If you're taking notes, lead post. So the lead post that started all of this was, do you know that there are 2,900 and, QVC. Thank you, Hillary. It's QVC. She works for QVC. Okay. Lead post. The lead post I wrote was, do you know that there's 2,985 grants for small businesses right now? Curious? And that was it. A lead post. That's what a lead post is. People started clicking on that. People I didn't even know started commenting. No, yeah, tell me more. I'm a small business. And it was government grants. Do you know that there's 2,985 government grants for small businesses? That's the beauty of live. If I messed something up, right? Sorry. So I did that post, and all these people started commenting, and I'm like, this is fantastic. So from that, I ended up opening a free beta group, which we use in my coaching program. Now I did a free beta group. I sent out a Google app, like click on Google form, tell me if you want in. I think I had about 25 responses, and I took 10 people, and they got to go through my initial program for free. Now, the funny thing is, I got about 2 or 3 weeks into this program. And again, we don't write a bunch of stuff beforehand. They're there free. This is my beta group. I'm learning as I go. And so each week we'd get together and work on a different part of the business plan. And we got to about the 3rd week, and I said, hey guys, and they were doing fabulous. Like, they were all in with me. We had so much fun. And if you're here and you were in that, let me know. But we had so much fun. And about 3 weeks into it, I'm like, are you guys writing your business plans? Because they were supposed to write some as we go. Nope, they weren't writing any business plans. They wanted a business. They didn't want a business plan. And that was the beauty of a beta group. You learn, and that's why. And you will always be learning as a coach, a consultant, a realtor, a financial advisor. Those are people in my world that can benefit from my system, and you're going to always be learning. So I learned, and I kept going, and I kept doing more posts. And so now that is how we grow our businesses. And so the other day I had one post that I posted. It had 150 responses, and from that we extracted 86 leads the last I'd heard. So we may have extracted even more than that. And so people show up and they're ready to interact with you. Now, somebody the other day, I was sharing this with them, and they said, so you mean you just go online and put quotes on there and do what you do and people show up? And I'm like, I appreciate the question, right? I appreciate questions because it tells me what people are thinking. And I said, no, I wish it worked that way. You know what? To me, if you can just throw content out there and it works, to me, that's an influencer. And can it work? Yeah. But you know what? If you look at the stats, just being an influencer, so just putting out really good content, like really good stuff, really consistently, like 5 lives a day kind of thing, right? Like that's what they're doing. 7% of the time that will work. You can be successful at being an influencer 7% of the time, which means all those other times, all those other people fail. And to me, that odd is not good enough. Like, I got bills to pay. I got people to help. I cannot do something that's going to give me 7% success rate. I need some 77% success rate. I need something that's really, really going to work, that's going to work fast, that I can see the results. And so that's why we write really good lead posts. Not that we don't ever get bombs every once in a while, we do, but most of them are really good lead posts, and we extract them. And the other day I was in my coaching group my Ignite coaching group, and I showed them 3 that all had more than 100 comments on them. So that's perfect. Now, we have a system beforehand and we have a system afterwards. You can't just put it out there. And so right now, what I think will be most beneficial, because I wondered, like, what would be most beneficial for people to hear? I want to tell you what you need to have in place before you just go do the lead posts. So people come in, and a common question, concern is, I need leads, I need leads, I need leads. If you are showing up and you're trying to get leads and you're not getting leads, you have an issue in one of 4 areas. You got to get stronger in one of 4 areas. And actually it's the first 3. And then once that happens, you get the leads. Okay. And so we're going to talk about the 4-pillar system right now. So awesome. Okay. Coming in hot. This is what we're talking about. This is exactly what we use to get prepared. Okay. Look at that. High tech. Look at me, all high tech. So if you can see this, great. If you can't, don't worry. All right. 4 pillars that we use. The first one is live your big dream. This is your vision. So you need to be able to know who you're called to help. And if you're like me, you believe it's in your gut, man. It's given to you. When you know it, and you can't ignore it. You try, but you can't. You're like, this is what I am called to do. And so it's our vision. But people come in and there's a couple issues, right? First of all, some of us, like me, I've been kicked around a little bit in the business world. I've had some bad business partnerships. Things have not went well. We fail because we're going to fail. And it's like, gosh, then you start questioning yourself. So sometimes we're clouded, right? We're clouded to what our vision is, and we need some help kind of sorting through that. So, and by the way, people tell me, this surprised me in the beginning. It doesn't anymore. People tell me when they work with me, vision is the one thing that they got the most clarity on. Like the biggest aha, it's not getting the 86 leads from a post. It's like the clarity of the vision. So what would it be like today if you had absolute clarity of your vision? How would that impact how you go up and how you go out and show up on the market, or how you show up when you're in a sales call? Like clarity of your vision. So we want to be able to do that. Now, so we get clarity. The other thing people are like, how do I know this is going to work? Fair question, right? How do I know this is going to work? A lot of people say a lot of stuff. How do I know that who I'm going to help and what I want to build is going to work? Research. We don't just go out there willy-nilly. We research. And I have a method and a system. I'm not going to be able to go into all of that, but we dig deep to make sure we have proof, because that increases your confidence. Plus, I want you to have success. That's my job. And I will give people a thumbs up or a thumbs down on their ideas. And we need to have that proof behind it. So we do our research and we make sure that it's going to work. So we're big vision. We make sure it's going to work. There's market standards and industry standards that work. And then there's a way that we research. And then it's like, man, yep, here it is. This is what I'm called to do. From that, we go into niching. So you guys probably saw it the other day. Somebody posted in my group what meant the most for them was when I said radically empathetic with your client. Get radically empathetic with your client. What do they want? What do they need? We have a done-for-you system now within my coaching program, because we were finding that people wanted the results and just flat out didn't have an hour a day even. Like they were running big businesses. And they're like, man, especially financial advisors, especially real estate agents, like they're like, we're going, we got it, but we want to level up. Like we want more of our market share. We see money on the table, and we want that. We want that flow from social media at the level that you get, but we don't have time to do it. We don't even have the hour of the day. So I plug them into my system, all my system, my branding coach, my back office, like all of it. It's done for you. They will do for you what they do for me. So done for you system. And it's interesting when we do the done for you system, it's been very interesting. Niching is there's not that pushback on going all in. We do that pushback in our mind. When we have to go out there and we do a post, if we're doing it ourselves, we do this thing like, well, maybe I'm going to work with farmers, but then what if plumbers don't want to work with me, right? Or maybe I want to work with younger people, but then what if the older people aren't drawn to me? We block ourselves. We don't even know we do it. So with the done for, we don't see that. When it comes to niching, what I want you to think about is lots of things, but if you get hurt, and you need surgery, you don't want to go to your general practitioner. No, you don't. You want to go to a surgeon. I love my general practitioner. He's very good at what he does, but he's not cutting me open, right? But it would be silly for me to go to a surgeon for my allergies. That doesn't make sense. So you need to be a specialist. You need to be just like a doctor and specialize. And that allows you to get really, really good at helping people get radically empathetic with exactly what they need. So you can even see, sometimes if we get very niche like we need to, we will repel people that are not our people. And that's okay. I work with professionals who want to turn their God-given brilliance into revenue-generating businesses. Now, if anything in that doesn't resonate with somebody, they're not my person. And so like professionals, that's a word I added after a while. It's like I wanted people that were professional people. They had skills, they've probably had a really good career, and they're ready to show up and help. And that's my people. Is that going to repel some people? Maybe, but they're not my people, right? So we want to get super, super niched, and the more niched you get, the better the results are. We're absolutely seeing it, and I know it can be scary, but that's what we need to do. So that's number 2, serve with purpose. So live your big dream, serve with purpose means finding that ideal client to help and serve. Good? Whew, okay, we are half done. We're going to keep going. The next part of the 4 is share with confidence. Share with confidence. This is the offer. And sometimes I find that people have a vision and they know exactly who they want to serve. And it's amazing. They're called to help a ton of people and they know how to do it and they've got the skills. And you know what? We get to the offer and the wheels fall off the bus because they don't have sales skills. And that's okay. It's all right. We just need to learn sales skills. And if you remember in my story, I said when I hired a coach, I needed sales techniques that were congruent with who I am. Sometimes we're taught sales techniques that are not congruent with who we are. I was talking with somebody the other day in the insurance industry and financial industry, and the first thing they always tell you to do in those industries is make a list of about 200 people and then get on the phone and call them. Boy, is that awkward. And there has been relationships ruined throughout the United States. You would think I'm exaggerating, but I am not, from that practice. Like you can sit there and call people that you haven't seen since high school and ask them if they want to buy insurance. Like this is brutal. And so that wasn't congruent with who I was. I needed something that was congruent with who I am. And you deserve a sales system that's congruent with you. Like just think if you knew with confidence in your soul when you showed up to talk to somebody what to say that would help them, that would guide them, wouldn't that be a different experience? Like if you knew you were a guide to help them with their issue. And that's what we do with offers. And I like it when it gets to the point when somebody says, tell me what you do. Just think if you went into every discovery call, sales call, and it gets to the point where you've talked, you've kind of heard what their issues are, you've been a really good listener, you've repeated it back, and then they're like, well, tell me how you help people. They ask you, wouldn't that be amazing? So we have to have a good, solid, strong offer. So we need to know what we're offering. We need to know how it helps. This is true. But we need to have really good sales skills, really, really good sales skills. And our minds will future predict, and they're going to future predict issues. Like our minds are built in a way to keep us safe. They are. There's nothing we can do about it. They are built to keep us safe. And so if we are apprehensive about sales because we haven't had an experience with it, we've had bad experience, or we don't really know our offer, or any of that, we're going to be like, nope, I can't find somebody that I can help because I don't know how to share it with them. Like I can't do it because I don't know how to share it with them, and we're just going to stop. And so sometimes I see people not even going out on social media, making the connections like they should, or maybe they find somebody that can help and they don't offer. And it's because they future thought like what that sales call is going to look like. And they're like, I don't know how to do a sales call. I don't want to do that. I don't want to have that uncomfortable conversation. What if they say no? All that stuff. So we knock through that. We knock through that with sharing with confidence. We got to do that. And we got to do it sooner in the process than later because it's going to stop us. So we have to have these things in place before the lead posts will work. And then we get to marketing like a pro, which is the last one, which is the lead posts. And trying to think of, I shared the one lead post out there. If you go and you look at my stuff, there's all sorts of good lead posts out there. If you're in my coaching group already, we've got a list of them in the vault. But that's what we do. We post something that helps our ideal client and engages them in conversation, and then we follow through. Now, remember in the beginning, I said somebody asked me, they're like, so you just make posts? No. You can see there's so much more behind the scenes stuff that has to get done. Otherwise, we're just making posts. So you get your systems built, you write really good posts that connect with your ideal client because you know who they are, you know what their pain points are, you know what conversations they want to have, and then you make a lead post. So it's lead posts, it's nesting. I do nesting in social media and Facebook groups where I can nest and hang out with the people that I like to hang out with that I can help. I added, it was, I'm always doing what I teach. So that's kind of different. Like whatever I teach you to do, I know it's going to work because it works for me. And then if it stops working for me, it's probably going to stop working for everyone. And so we need to pivot. But I'm doing it right along with the people that I coach. And so I am coming out with a new book launch, and it's Farm Succession Planning for Christians. And I needed new groups, like on the farm side. And I joined 2 new groups on that side, and they're Christian farmers. And I'm like, oh, this feels like home. Like this feels like home. It does not feel salesy. Like these are my people. and it's just so welcoming. And I'm not showing up telling them, hey, buy my book. Hey, like have an appointment with me. That's not how it looks. But I'm in there and I'm meeting and I'm connecting, and they're meeting and connecting with me, and we're being friends. That's what nesting it is. It's true connection. So that's what we use. And then we use some messaging. And from that, we generate leads, and we close business. And so hopefully this resonated with you. Hopefully you picked up some really good things on what you can do. I am excited. We are starting our next cohort. So this is just the tip of the iceberg. Obviously, we got to work through the process. And so part of working through that process is getting a good coach and jumping into a group with like-minded people. And so we have that opportunity for you. Next Wednesday we're starting. And so if you are interested in just learning more about my coaching program, I just want you to DM me coach or put coach down here. Let me know that you are interested in that, and then I'll just send you some information on my coaching program and how it works. We've got 3 levels now. We want to make sure that everybody can get the help exactly where they're at with what they need. We wanted an easy entry for people, and we also wanted good, long, solid results. And then we wanted to help those people that said, hey, Heather, do this for me. So we've got 3 levels of that. So put coach in the DMs, put coach here, wherever works for you. Just let me know, and we'll give you some information. I'll ask you some questions if you want to jump on Zoom and have a chat about it. I'd love to do that, but I'm absolutely here to help you. It's a proven system. It works. You're not meant to struggle. You are called for impact. I know you are, and this system works, and I would be honored to help you with it. And if you have questions about something other than our coaching program, anything I covered today, I'm an open book. Just put them here in the chat, and I will be looking at the chat no matter whether you're watching it live or it's 2 days from now. We will be monitoring the chat. Let us know your questions, and we will get them answered. This has been fantastic. It's been a great way to get the information to you. Let me know how I can help you. Let me know what I can do to help you, and let's get you going to make a huge impact. All right, amazing. Have a great day. Thank you.